Guys, just yesterday I made a video that we broke 25K. I can't even keep up anymore. We're trading at $27,600, 27,700. It is absolutely insane what is going on. So, I just had to make another video. And what I want to do today is, besides, look at the intraday price action and kind of the short-term stuff, what's happening with Bitcoin, is I actually want to look at the bigger picture, the log scale, the multi-year picture over here, and look at why we could quite potentially go to $100, $200, $300,000, $100, $200, $300,000 per Bitcoin, or even more in the next few years potentially. And I want to show you this on a chart. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. It seems absolutely absurd to even think that. But hey, back in March this year, we were trading in the low 4,000s. We were at 27,000, right? Just recently, someone asked me, what do you think of Bitcoin? And I actually said to him, well, we might get a pullback to as low as 20,000. And I was like, holy, I'm actually saying as low as 20,000. We were trading at the low 4,000s, and now I'm thinking 20K is low. That is absolutely insane. So, welcome to today's video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, I would really love to get to 10K subscribers on this channel so I can just help grow the content and get it out to more people. So if you are watching this, whether you're for the first time or you come back from time to time, please, if you can, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. Let's go towards 10K before Bitcoin breaks 30K, if that's possible. Who knows? That could happen very, very quickly. But smash the like button, subscribe. I really appreciate it. So, first things first, we're trading at almost $28,000, and you can see this is a 4-hourly chart over here. So this is looking very, very parabolic, very vertical, right? You can barely get more vertical than this, anything else, and it's just bending over backwards. So realistically speaking, on the short-term time frames, we might be coming near a short-term top, especially since we're starting to boom thousands of dollars in a day. Now, obviously, one factor that could potentially be playing a role here is if institutions are literally buying hundreds of millions. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If that money is really flooding in right now, who knows how much higher this could be pushed. 30K, 32K, who knows? Maybe it goes straight to 40 or 50K. It is possible. I'm starting to think, the 28K to 32K range, that might be somewhere where we could expect some sort of pullback. Now, also, there's quite a few people who have these targets of 27 to 28K. We had Tom Lee from Fundstrat. We have Max Kaiser, who said 28K. We have Bob Lucas, who said he was going to start taking his initial capital from his Bitcoin position at around 28K. So in a lot of ways, this might be a level where people start taking profits, which means that, it could actually just be some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where it does start to sell off. Could it go to 29, 30, 31, 32? Absolutely. When it starts blowing off like this, the exhaustion phases to the upside, they're usually very high, very violent, happen in a short period of time, but then afterwards it pulls back and it corrects. And usually that correction, that pullback after the exhaustion, after the final high is in, is just as violent to the downside with several $1,000s. So us trading at almost $28,000, if we were to get a pullback to $20,000, well, that would be just shy of a 30% pullback. And that would not be out of the ordinary. If we look back at 2017, we've looked at this before, 30, 40% pullbacks have happened in bull markets. It doesn't mean it's the end of the bull market. In fact, I think a pullback of several $1,000s and holding above the $20,000 level would be very, very bullish, because basically it means that we flipped that level, right? We stayed below it these past almost 12 years. That's how long it took to break 20K. And now that we shot through it, we went way over to almost 28K at this point, whatever it's going to end up being. If we end up pulling back and it now becomes the new floor, then that would be very, very bullish and perhaps set that floor for going towards 6-figure per BTC over the coming years. Now, again, if that sounds too crazy, we're going to look at the log scale, the monthly chart of Bitcoin in a second. So guys, this is a log scale of the monthly chart on Bitcoin on Bitstamp, because it has the longest history over here on this exchange. You can see it goes back to 2011 over here. And for those of you who don't know what a log scale is, basically a linear scale is where the scale is equal. So the distance from 10 is the same as from 0 to 10 is the same as 10 to 20 is the same as 30 to 40. But percentage wise, obviously that's not equal. So a log scale, the distance of 0 to 10 is the same as 10 to 100 is the same as 100 to 1,000 is the same as 1,000, and so on and so forth, right? So it gives a completely different picture, as you can see over here, because the rise over here from like $10 to $100, that is a 10x gain, and then another 10x gain would be from 100 to 1,000, and so on and so forth, right? So it gives you a different picture over here. The vertical lines here are the previous halvings, roughly November 2012, July 2016, and May 2020. And then I'm just over here, this horizontal line is when we broke the previous all-time high for the first time over here, and look what happened to the upside. This is the previous all-time high from 2017 that we recently just broke. And then we have a possible parallel channel like this. So if we draw a line over the top, somewhere over there, or if we just duplicate this move to the upside after breaking the all-time high, if that were to repeat in the same way, look at those price targets, right? Somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000. And yes, looking forward, I mean, this is a few years, right? So the next halving is going to be somewhere in 2024 over here. So, you know, just based on how fast it can go, if it were to go straight up, it would be 190,000, but it won't go that high that fast, I don't think. So it basically does something like this, where it just continuously goes higher like this. You know, I mean, that would be pretty crazy already if it were to repeat something like that, but who knows, it could also do something more slow and kind of just make its way up there. Who knows, right? But looking at this on a log scale, if this were to repeat, you can see the argument for $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 per Bitcoin. And I know it sounds absolutely insane, but at this point, 300K from today, it's barely it's just over a 10x, right? And I remember back in 2017, so I've been around the space, first Bitcoins early 2014, 2015, but I saw the whole 2017, 2018 boom and bust. And I remember in the early phases of 2017, this was when there were very, very few people still paying attention to this. And I remember seeing the 2013 boom and bust, right? And that's when I got in after that, after seeing it go to 1100, crash back down to 200. I got in for the first time around 250, 200, something like that. And I would never have thought that at $180 or $200 after that crash, that it would have gone to $10,000, let alone $20,000. So the potential upside of Bitcoin is just way, way higher, and crypto than you can imagine, simply because also it is such a small user base, tens of millions versus billions of people in the world, and it is a tiny market cap of hundreds of billions versus tens of trillions in other asset classes, right? If we're looking at gold, $7, $8, $9 trillion. Bitcoin is nowhere near even still $1 trillion. So what's going to happen if money flows into Bitcoin, right? As it's been doing for the last couple months, where we're having funds and companies and CEOs and just private millionaires and billionaires putting in tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of real world dollars into Bitcoin, right? Once that money starts flowing in, and this goes to multi-trillion-dollar market cap, which I think is possible over the coming years, then the price has to go up, because there's limited supply. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And I know it seems crazy to think about, but we're starting to see it happen. I mean, did you ever think we'd be back at 27,000 by the end of 2020 already, when we were trading at 4,000? I certainly didn't, right? And especially this acceleration after we broke the all-time high, after we broke the 20K, it's just gone really, really fast. So that also means, you know, could we correct from here? Like I said, yes, absolutely. We can drop several $1,000s. We might drop back to 20K. Who knows? Maybe even in the short term, it could end up being a top right around this level, this 28K level. It's pretty important, I think. And who knows? Maybe it'll take months to continue to go higher. But also look at the fundamentals, what's happening in the world. I've made many videos about this. You know, we've seen so much currency creation and stimulus from central banks and governments around the world. This year alone, so much, more than decades or even centuries have been printed in this year. The debt creation is out of control. That is not going to stop. Okay, it's not going to reverse. It's not going to slow down. If anything, personally, I just see that speeding up over the coming months and years, which means, you know, fiat is a melting ice cube, as Michael Saylor would say, which means, you know, more and more people have this fiat currency problem. Banks with negative interest rate or zero interest rates, where do you put your fiat, right? To make sure that it doesn't devalue at 15, 20% per year. And imagine if 1 or 2 or 3% of all the money in funds decides to go into Bitcoin. What do you think that's going to do, right? So the fundamentals in combination with the log scale and the halving cycles and everything like that point towards it being a real possibility that we are going to see six-figure Bitcoin, and not just 100K, but potentially 2, 3, 4, 500K. I know there's other people who have given these targets. I've actually made a video about famous investors who have given price targets. I'll link to it up here and in the description below. For example, even Max Ride, he did a video where he said that he thinks Bitcoin could go as high as $500,000 if we get a banking crisis. So if we get some sort of global liquidity bail-in crisis with the banks, that might be an option. Because if you're worried about the banks, where do you put your money, right? Bitcoin, you can hold your own private keys. The Winklevoss twins, they've also made a case for 500K Bitcoin, right? There's people saying anywhere between $100,000 and $500,000. And sure, that might not happen within a week or within a month. It might not even happen next year. But, you know, over the next several years, might be a possibility. So as crazy as it might seem that we're now at $27,000, imagine what's going to happen if we're at 100 or 200 or 300K. And I will obviously reference this video if that happens, and I'll be like, hey, you know, I'm making these videos at $27,000. But look, all jokes aside, 27,000, it is really, really high. Short term, we are getting overbought. Okay, so at any point we could get a correction of 10, 20, 30%, drop several $1,000s. But in the longer term, everything is looking really bullish. The cycles are still on track, and it's looking like 2021 is going to be an absolutely phenomenal year. And like I've said before, I think altcoins are going to follow. It's just, I don't see a cryptocurrency space where only Bitcoin continues going higher and altcoins don't get some sort of pump. Now, I'm not saying for the long term all altcoins are going to survive. I think most won't. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, most of the altcoins we know today are not going to be there anymore. But in the short term, over the next months, maybe the next 1 or 2 years, we could see a ginormous pump in a lot of different altcoins, Ethereum and obviously a lot of the 2017 altcoins, but also a lot of the newer ones, perhaps even complete shitcoins that will end up pumping in a big way. So I think 2021 is going to be huge. Of course, I have my membership Intelligent Cryptocurrency where I share this stuff all the time. Obviously, the channel here is free, so you can subscribe. But until the end of this year, until the 31st of December, I'm holding a lifetime access special offer for Intelligent Cryptocurrency. You want to check that out? Go to intelligentcryptocurrency.com. The link is in the description below. Full 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy, there's no risk. But it is the place to be if you want to stay up to date and you want to get charts and analysis and insights and research and just have a community of awesome people all around the world to chat to and share ideas with. But other than that, guys, I think 2021 is going to be absolutely insane. And I think we're setting up for those altcoins. I don't know when it's going to be. Personally, I have a feeling, you know, January might be a really good month for these altcoins. But, you know, it might still take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Who knows? But at some point, when Bitcoin is going to be done pumping, profits are going to start flowing into altcoins. And we might have one more capitulation on altcoins, right? We might have one final drop. If Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins drop back. We might get people to panic sell their alts in the complete lows and FOMO into Bitcoin at the complete tops. And then we get an alt season of some sort. But I think it's just a matter of time before altcoins really start to pump. And things are looking really exciting. So that's it from me today, guys. Possible $200,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin in the next few years. I would love to see it. Let's see if it happens. And of course, like, subscribe, and share if you haven't done so already. And be sure to check out my Intelligent Cryptocurrency membership. It is the best deal you're going to get. After this, I'm not going to hold it again, probably until the end of next year, if even. So right now, really the best deal, no risk, full money back guarantee. Come and hang out with us. Join us inside Intelligent Cryptocurrency so that we can have an incredibly profitable and successful cryptocurrency year in 2021. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the inside.